Good night, fellow punchers. The clock on the wall is 25 minutes away from 10 o'clock on Tuesday night. Back with 1, 2, 3, 4 for tomorrow. 1 over the jumps, 2 on the go at Lingfield, 1 win, 1 each way, and 1 in Dundalk. Long-time followers will probably be guessing 2 of them already. Seen a bit of racing today, didn't see all of it. Washed the car, went checking about why can't I lock the car, and I have to go to a lock doctor in the morning down in Sligo, outside Sligo, out the Donegal Road. A new key has to be got, costing €250. It was probably that it got damp and that that was the cause of it, it seems. When I did switch buses in Killarney, brother of mine drove back my car and parked it, locked it, and left it on the front wheel in the yard. And 5 days later I picked it up, so that must have been the reason. Getting the NCT done as well tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So it's a car day tomorrow. I hope I'll be able to see myself going down to Sligo in the morning, because it's a good job I having to go over the curlews. It's an awful fog all day today and it's very bad tonight. We had only the one horse running today. The Stowaway Lass was pulled out. I don't know whether I mentioned that last night. It only ran 4 days ago. I meant to say it's a good sign when they're bringing it out so fast, but because they declared it, maybe it wasn't such a good sign because the horse wasn't ready. It's such a pity because with the way the race developed today, if she had popped out in front, she might have been hard pegged back. Josh Williamson winning that race. And the jockey, Tony Quayle, I was picking it because she was one of the better ones, and she won the handicap chase in the race before that. We had a horse run tonight in Secret Guest. Ran well enough. It's amazing. It was drawn beside the winner, and the 2 of them finished up on 2 different sides of the track. It came third, so anyone that got 9-1 or 8-1 last night made a few pound. I think it returned us 11-2, 5-1 in that bracket. So anyway, on to tomorrow. Your guessing now, what's the 2 horses? There's 2 horses that I should be picking tomorrow. One goes in the listed chase. This is the 3rd time I'm going for this. It was in the last couple of weeks. She didn't run because she was in season twice. She could be anything. Has won multiple times for us since it won first in Punchestown of 23. The very first race that day. I think the 6 is into 7-2. And I'd be always saying I prefer it to be further, but I was just looking. She won a lot of her race at 2 miles and 2 miles 1. Now it's going to be tough, very tough for her tomorrow, because she's carrying a penalty, but she's ran 4 times over fences, 3 wins and a second, so she's carrying a penalty for a graded race there that she won in Cheltenham or in Tipperary. It's a long way to Tipperary. That was over 2.5 miles, and that's when she was at her best, I thought. But she has 9 races out of 21. One of them probably is including a point-to-point that she won. So she knows how to get her nose down. Actually, she wears it well, is in the race. You wear it well. That won the Mayor's Novice in 23, and that day, Shecouldbeanything was behind her, getting £5. So given £5 tomorrow, that's what I'm saying is going to be a big ask. Hopefully the experience of jumping is you wear it well, first time over fences, but the Jamie Snowden yard is in great form the last 3 weeks. That's when she beat Magical Zoe. She went out in front there, made all, carrying 11-7. We were carrying 11-2, but we were both rated the same at the time. First time on the track, 246 days. Probably will be good enough it'll be. I think it's between the two of them. We should be able to deal with Space Tourist again, but Willie is sending it over, so first time cheek pieces. To be simple, West Balboa is strong in the market. It has the highest rated over hurls, but it was clumsy enough, I thought, jumping the last day. Made a howler towards the last, would have been second otherwise. Shecouldbeanything open up at fours. There's a bit of money for us into threes. It'll probably drift again in the morning. I'd love to see that horse winning tomorrow. Then we could maybe dream about next March if it did win tomorrow. On to another horse that we backed recently. Back to a different country though. The 207 at Lingfield, a mile 5 and 1 yard. That 1 yard could be awfully important. This has been won more often than not by a 3-year-old in the last few years. 3-year-olds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the last 6. The 4-year-old was Pennymore. Sila Rossa won it there. Willie Haggis has won 2 out of the last 3 and 4 out of the last 7. Isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 out of the last 7. So he has a 4-year-old this year. Had he any 4-year-olds there? 3-year-old. 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 He had 1 4-year-old, Daphne. So he has Sea Theme. It's rated 105. So it's given £8 to the second Fav, which is a 3-year-old. But this has raced in Group 1 races. Group 1, Group 1, Group 1. And the last one was an enlisted race, it won. And the previous time it was an enlisted race, it won. So this is its level. It was beaten in France there. I had a bet on it to finish in the first 4. It was only beaten 2.5 lengths on soft ground a mile 6. Then behind Calpana the last day. And the time that it won on better ground, good to soft, was in Clairefontaine. It scooted home. And Scarlett O'Hara was second, is reopposing tomorrow.
In front from Scarlett O'Hara, Shakti Star, Deshingi Star running on from the back of the field, but it's Sea Theme in front from Scarlett O'Hara, and Sea Theme, one for the visitors here, the William Haggis train Sea Theme.
Scooted home that day. Now the second favourite is 9-4. The second favourite is a 3-year-old and it's going over from Ireland. Madame Celeste, Colin Keane going over to ride for the Inform yard of Ger Lyons. This being a 1 mile 5. It hasn't, like the last year it won at our second in a listed race in Dundalk. It was 10.5 furlongs. And the only time it won was in Dundalk, a mile. Ran in the Group 1. That was in the Guineas, wasn't it? Or the Oaks. Mile 4. Why did I say Guineas when it was a mile 4? I think even though it's given £8, Sea Theme has to be the nap for me tomorrow. We go to the 240. This is a fillies and mares listed as well. This is at a mile. Look at 3-year-olds have a good record in it as well. I think we backed the winner just the last 2 years, Queen Amanatu. 3-year-olds have a good record. Queen Amanatu was a 4-year-old. Mamura was 5. If you look at the favourite is... Now let's get the 3-year-olds out of the way first. We have Sacred Angel, who was raised at 105. That was third in the Chiverley Park last year and won the Princess Margaret. Hasn't been seen since it was way down the field in the 1,000 guineas. So why is it not being absent that long? Why are they running at this time of the year? Are they thinking of Dubai, Medan, whatever? Have another plan? We also have Aranello raced 101. That was only one run this year as well for Ray Beckett. Then we have Doom. Doom, it's hard to make out. Doom has a couple of good runs, all right, but it doesn't seem to. Does it not stay the full mile or what? Or like 33296? It's like a 4 number. Now, it has one great run this year behind one Friendly Soul. But Friendly Soul pulled away from it. That was over a mile. It looked like it just didn't get home that day. Good to Ferrum will be fine. The surface will be fine tomorrow for it. You could see the in Doncaster the last day on soft ground. It was right there at the 6 furlong pole, and then it sort of got tired. A few of them went on from it, but we could blame the soft ground for that. So if it's not the ground, if it's a mile on good ground tomorrow, that'll be right there. But I thought there was an each way play with the French horse coming over, Iken. I like these Vadimus at a mile. Now this has 3 wins this year, and the only time it has ran at listed company was behind Sparks Fly the last day. Sparks Fly won actually again on Sunday, but it got a bit unlucky and it got bothered and held up at the rail, and it ran on, and it was only beaten like Sparks Fly is rated 102, so call that 100th of a run. That would be right there in the ratings with the others tomorrow. So at 11-2, I thought that might be an each way bet. Tomorrow, they're not sending it over for the fresh air. It's like there's several bookies there paying 4 places. If you got 4 places and you're going here, 6-1, 13-2, be in good shape. On to Dundalk. Altimara, unlucky for us the last time the way it ran. Tipped it up, I think, to 16-1. Lot of money for it all day. Handbrake was off, but didn't settle. But up £2 for that. Slightly raced. Drawn in 1 tomorrow, which could be a disadvantage or an advantage. It's hard to know. I want to get out. But if you look at it the last year, the way it ran, this is it here, right? Watch the way it didn't settle.
Party Knights at Dundalk Stadium, handicapping first to show from a wide draws Chestnutter, and then along the rails is Moyasser, and then comes Barnhill Rose. Also showing early pace is Rumbled Again, just ahead of a keen going Altimara as they settle down, and as Moyasser on the inside with the cheek pieces, Barnhill Rose, Chestnutter now noses to the front to Barnhill Rose, and then Rumbled Again, Altimara yet to settle, Yasser on the rails, Rasadat, and then in behind in the stars is Lilikoi, just ahead of Aquila, and then comes Cherry Pink along the rails, Ferrari Desert, 3 from rear Seas and Oceans, Golden Days has 1 as well, then comes Moyasser, Shimmers,
Gets
the far side Ferrari Desert, Lolikoi, and then behind us Lolikoi is Aquila running on from the rear of Memory, but Chestnutter by about a head to Altimara, Rumbled Again as they hit the furlong and a half, and it's Altimara to Chestnutter, Rumbled Again, Moyasser, the Ferrari Desert, Golden Days from the rear, and the far side Ferrari Desert takes over to Moyasser, Altimara the centre of the track, and it's Ferrari Desert, Moyasser, Altimara, Ferrari Desert at the line, Ferrari Desert, Moyasser, Altimara.
She got into bother coming up the stretch. She's still lightly raced, very inexperienced. Showed it coming up the stretch, shied from the whip as well. That run should bring her on. She's only a 3-year-old. Nathan Cross riding for Ross O'Sullivan. Johnny Murch's horse there won over 6 furlongs the last twice. Won over the Goo in Dundalk and won before that. Wasn't that in Fairyhouse, was it? But it's stretching out to 7. And if it did it stay at that time or over 7? So we're going to take a punt. Now this is going to drift tomorrow, I'd say. This could go off 6 or 7-1. But if it drifts, don't be too worried about it. Back it each way. Altimara. Hopefully they're paying 4 places there. So that's all she wrote. Bash the bookies, over and out.